If you're a small business and you want to play around a little bit with testing your intuition over your intellect, you might be in the right place. We're going to talk today about a few website maintenance and management type tasks business owners may sort of let go by the wayside because everything seems to be working just fine for now. And we're going to talk a little bit about seasonal revenue and digital signatures and conflict and avoidance when it comes to communication and tough situations. So I hope you'll stick around. Welcome to Simple Sense for Small Business, where we are introducing the second episode in our The Tarot Said So series. I love alliterations. And let's get started with today. We're going to be talking about glitch number, and I'll let you know about what that means in a moment. Glitch number 160 through 166, which represents June 8th through June 14th. So what am I talking about? Well, a few years ago, Trevor and I created the Biz Glitch 366 project. It's a mistake of the day, 366 mistakes because we took leap year into account. And we decided to kind of merge and meld and morph the glitches into some fun and interesting tarot readings. I'm very new to this, so I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, especially since we're going to be going through 7 glitches. All right, so let's see. A little housekeeping, entertainment purposes only. There's no real science to this. My background is running and owning financial services businesses for the past 30 plus years. Trevor's also a retired mortgage banker for over 35 years. And we both retired from our respective financial services careers and started working on the disaster funding program for during COVID and helped thousands of business owners around the country survived the pandemic lockdown with securing about $100 million in disaster funding. And we've continued that to this day on our other channel at EIDL Experts, where we help business owners overcome some of the challenges with SBA in managing their EIDL with various transactions taking place in their business. Because if you're a business owner and you're here and you've seen any of our videos, you know a business is a living, breathing organism of sorts, and you have to nurture it every day, every week, every month, every year. So we have seen some mistakes, which is how this channel got started. All right, so housekeeping, I am going to be using the business class tarot deck. I don't know if you can see this here or here, but this deck is dedicated to business tarot readings. The minor arcana suits are, instead of wands, we have product. Instead of cups, we have brand. Instead of swords, we have data. And instead of pentacles, we have money, which is almost kind of sort of the same thing. And the major arcana have very different cards that are fun to see. And if I seem like I may not remember, it's probably because I don't remember. If you see any jump cuts, it's probably because I'm trying to reference some kind of specific relevance to the cards that I might have kind of forgotten. But a lot of this I'm just trying to do based on what I've already learned in the last few months and how it applies to various business operations and tasks, sales and marketing and all that fun stuff that, you know, what some things we love to do in the business and some things we don't really love to do in the business. Let's get started with the first glitch, which is 160 for June 8th. I am recording this on June 1st, but that's just because I have a weird schedule coming up. So glitch number 160 is, how do big holidays affect your revenue? How do you manage that knowing that you could have light other months, right? The income could be lighter in other months, and yet the expenses stay static. How do big holidays affect your business revenue? So let's take a look. I'm going to do a little shuffle because I don't know if you watched the last one, but I had 2 cards come up in the same back-to-back readings. So that was super awkward to have to. All right, let's just do a couple cuts, make sure that they are right side up. because I am not looking to learn on the fly with you when the card is reversed. All right, so it's a 3-card spread, which is what I'm sticking to since there's 7 glitches and I'm still new, so I'm trying to keep it somewhat digestible, if you will, for both of us. And it's going to be situation, action, and outcome. Now, I had to do some cuts in the last video because I kept calling the outcome action. I did it twice, but it's situation, action, and outcome. All right. How do big holidays affect your business revenue? How are you engaging with your financials knowing that it's not always consistent? Let's see what's happening. This is the situation. Okay, data 9 is the 9 of Swords. You sometimes feel like it's too much. There's major overwhelm. You have all the information you need. I don't know if you can see this card. I hope so, because we try to get it so the card can be seen. I have it here too. As you can see, he's sitting here and yet he has all of this information at his fingertips. He's accomplished knowing about the business, what he needs to know, or she. I mean, this is just energy, even though it's a picture of a man. But it's the person here, you, the business owner, us, we, the business owners, we know what to do. And yet we still overthink and we're up at night. We're ruminating here with all of this knowledge, all of this experience, all of this expertise about how the business runs. And yet here we are sitting and worrying and overthinking and up at night. All right, so that's the situation. Now this is the action. What can we do about it? Ooh, so 3 of Pentacles. This is the collaboration card. You're developing your experience. You are working with others to diversify your knowledge and your abilities in the business that yield. This is 3 of Pentacles, money 3. The way this looks here, you have this person who's trying to demonstrate something effective about what's happening in the business, and they're standing there like she's not convinced, but you know, there's information to be attained, there's knowledge to be learned about how to manage the process of saving for future months that are lean. Maybe you get some help. Again, collaboration also says to me outsourcing. If you're a small business owner or you don't have a team or you don't have many employees, but you have trusted professionals, especially a CPA or an accountant, that can kind of help you figure out how to better budget. So that's what that tells me. Now we have the outcome. I'm going to get that right this time. The outcome here for how do you manage your holiday seasons or an ebb and flow type revenue stream. King of Wands. You have the ability to have a system to better put a handle on this. Again, you're the master of your business. So what's happening why are you up at night worrying about this when you know what to do? So I think there could be something like, are you letting this go every month where you're not looking at the numbers? Are you waiting to, per quarter? Are you looking at it every 3 months instead of every month? And that could impede on the ability to understand, oh boy, 3 months is a long time if you're looking into if you're looking into where there's some lean months, maybe those are the 3 lean months that you didn't prepare for. So if there is someone in your life that can be of assistance to maybe just be a mentor or could inspire you on doing those numbers every month versus every quarter. I've been guilty. I just did a reconciliation to do a year to date through May 31st, and I didn't do April yet. So I had 2 months I had to deal with. So it happens. Okay, so there we go. So that's glitch number 160. And by the way, I will be putting, I put the links to the videos of each of these glitches in the description. So each glitch has a video. We did a video a day in 2024 for every glitch, 366 videos for 366 glitches. And the link to the video will be in the description. All right, so next is June 9th, glitch 161. Does your website feature high quality content? Now, the thing that I really love about this is that I already have one video under my belt, in the can, if you will, and you're gonna see it here or here, or it'll pop up somewhere. And we talked about AI in the last video that I did last week. And so when I think about website content and copy and high quality, I think of copywriting. And copywriting, in my opinion, is a gift and a skill. And I took a copywriting class and I was in heaven. I don't know. I just could geek out about copywriting all day long. And so I really loved the class. But this is the point of this glitch. Does your website feature high quality content? Once you address like what you feel confident in and what you're skilled at in your sleep, then I think you know then what you might need to delegate. And this is one of those things where if you are not addressing your website, then you are missing out on your website being a 24/7 salesperson. And things are changing. It's 2025. Things are changing. Google is going through an insane shakeup with how they took for granted their place in the industry, and how they didn't keep up with certain digital innovative strategies and introductions of tools and resources. And so now they're finding themselves like, what do we do now? I can't really speak to that entirely, but I will say I have relied heavily on using Google My Business as a way to post certain things about our content and blogs, and making sure that we have blogs on our website, not just on LinkedIn, not just on Medium, not just on Substack. Making sure if it's a high quality piece of information to help bring the consumer along in a customer journey kind of experience, and a sales funnel kind of experience, that it is of high quality. So I got off track there, but the glitch from last week talking about AI, maybe go and check that out. All right, so does your website have high quality content? Let's look at the situation. All right, so this is the CEO, which is the Emperor. The Emperor is a fire energy. It's a in the deck of the major arcana, it is the masculine energy of knowledge and authority. And this could be where if you are doing it, fantastic. But if you're not, this could be where you lean into, what am I letting go by the wayside? Okay, and now the action is brand assistant. This is knowing who in your business, in your sphere, in your world can assist you with making it happen, to draft this high quality content, to edit the high quality content, to make sure that it's getting posted on the website. I mean, the website alone, it could be a part-time job for somebody to just manage, depending on how big your business is. But this brand assistant is there to help you. They are ready to make your website sing so people can find it and then buy from you. All right. And then the outcome. Oh my gosh, this is another King of Pentacles. This is another mastering, getting your website to be of high quality content, mastering that, and it producing financial success. It producing to your bottom line to pay for itself. So whatever you have to invest, whether it's the time and money or the money for the time that you're hiring somebody to do it, it will pay off because you have the resources. You already distinguish between your strengths and weaknesses. You have someone who understands on how to execute on this. And then you're going to have the good fortune of that investment of time and money being rewarded. So I love that for us. All right. All right, let's zoom in that way. And then that way. All right, so the next is June 10th, which is glitch number 162. I also have it here that it's National Ballpoint Pen Day, which I think is going to be super ironic, I guess. And because there's some digital things we're talking about, but you'll see the irony. 162. How mobile friendly and how mobile responsive is your website? So what does that mean? Have you ever been on your mobile device and you looked up a website and it was really, really small? In other words, it was a miniature version of what you would see if you were on a desktop. That's because it wasn't mobile responsive. It wasn't mobile friendly and it wasn't mobile responsive. I've seen it in the last couple of years. I don't know if I've taken a picture of it, but it obviously inspired me to include this glitch in the project. How mobile friendly and how mobile responsive is your website? Situation is, okay, brand 5 is the 5 of Cups. All right, in the traditional deck, this is all the 5s are of conflict. This particular card, though, is one of having feelings of loss. But the problem is that you're looking out on this expansive horizon. And in this case, instead of cups, these are hearts, because branding could be the heart of the business. I love that. And these are broken hearts here. Something didn't work out and you're in despair about it. But in behind, you have 2 perfectly beautiful beating hearts in your briefcase ready to go. But you can't see it because you're turned away and the briefcase is backwards. So you're not really focusing on what you have. You're in dismay over what hasn't worked. So the situation is, what are the lost opportunities? What do you not know that you have lost? And that's one thing about metrics that I've always marveled at, that you can track all the metrics you want, but there are certain things we don't know that don't happen, that I will never know who didn't buy from me because my website maybe it loaded too slow. Maybe it wasn't easy to navigate and they didn't know how to find the thing they thought I sold and they didn't buy it. So the didn't buy it from me and I'll never know stat, right? So that's where this particular glitch comes in. If someone is just so frustrated with trying to figure out on their phone how to get in touch with you from your website and it's not mobile friendly or mobile responsive, they're out. It's less than 8 seconds that you have. So this could be something you might want to check into. Next, we have the 8 of Wands. This is an action card of the highest degree. It is all systems in flow, all systems moving. In other words, in relation to this glitch, what that tells me is if you decide to look into how your website is flowing for all versions, desktop, tablet, mobile, then nothing can go wrong as far as at least you fine-tuning. Because look, here we have, so the 8 of Wands is, again, I'll show the picture of the 8 of Wands, but you have all your shipments. You're loading up the shipments. They're on the way. People bought from you. Things are happening, and crates being loaded. to be shipped out to customers. I mean, not only is this the action position, but this is an action card. So don't ignore your website, in other words. Okay, outcome. Now we have where you're not appreciating all the resources that you have here because you're not realizing that there's still a couple of beating hearts that could be your website. And you just do a little tweaking and you're good to go. The wands are flying through the air. The shipments are being shipped out. And then we have the outcome. And here we got the money card again. Oh my gosh, I love, this is the Six of Pentacles. You have more than enough to go around. This gentleman, whatever the product is of your product, that's the main thing, is there. He's able to give away some of his product to people that may not be able to afford it, or as a business owner, you're able to gift that to someone else. And not only are you able to do that, but you have more coming in that you can sell. So the moral of the story is, don't dismay. You have what you need to just look into to make the best of your website. You got resources to execute on the task itself to have that information flow to the end user. And then you have products being sold so that it's best of both worlds. I love that for us. Okay, so the next glitch is June 11th, glitch 163. Do you use digital signatures for your contracts and agreements? Now, I have a little story about this and how it made the glitch roster. When Trevor and I, we had two businesses that imploded March of 2020 when the pandemic hit, when lockdown hit. And we had to fold it up. We had to put away both shingles. And that's when we started, because we had a background with business financing and business operations. We knew how to help provide information to business owners who were seeking the government funding for the COVID disaster. Once the SBA was anointed by Congress to dispense the disaster funding through their economic injury disaster loan program, which was historically used for natural disasters, Trevor knew, being in the banking business for over 30 years, he's like, the sharks are going to come out. Let's provide some guidance to business owners on how to navigate this program. Now, we did not know anything about this program, but we knew enough to help people get ready with what lenders look for when it comes to financing and funding. I mean, I won't go into any other detail, but our business exploded in 2021, and thus we had to not only get a CRM, but we had to have certain platforms to arrange for meetings, remote meetings, agreements, and contracts for signatures. And when we came out of 2021 and when the program ended in May of 2022, I was able to go and sink my teeth into all the things we invested in 2021 in haste, and found out we had redundancies in what we invested in, including the digital signatures. We had a CRM, but we also had DocuSign and we had Adobe Acrobat Pro. So we had all of these ways for signatures. But what this glitch with this reading I want to look at is, are you reviewing the resources that you have? Even though this says digital signatures, which is why I had the ballpoint pen holiday from yesterday. But what is the best resource for you to have digital signatures? And there's also something about digital signatures that we encountered with the SBA where they were rejecting intermittently, temperamentally, inconsistently, they were rejecting when a digital signature came through on a document. They were like, this isn't authentic enough. And that's when we kind of dug into like, well, how is it, like, what digital platforms will you only accept? Like, it was kind of insane, but that was more dysfunction from the SBA, entertainment purposes only. And anyway, so we got to looking into how we could execute our contracts with digital signatures. And so for this reading, I want to look at, do you have your agreements and contracts in place, rock solid, to execute properly, that would, to the point of having it in a deposition for legal purposes? Because that's what it comes down to. If, as a business owner, if you have somebody that you're in agreement with and there's a breach of contract, are your agreements intact that include viable digital signatures to authenticate in a court of law? I know that sounds intense, but just consider, again, this being another little nuance, another little nonsense and minutia of sorts that a business owner has to understand is important before it's too late. Because that's what we have seen and why this glitch project exists, because people found out their mistake after the damage was already done. Do you have your digital signatures on your digital contracts established and confident? Established and ready to go, confident. Okay. Situation is the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is potentially, you have a decision to make about, do I create it from scratch or do I review it to make sure there's no other revisions that have to be made? Yeah. So the Wands are the doing of the things that would achieve results of getting it done, right? But you're standing out here and you have the whole world. I mean, this is a overseas thing too. This could be where you have work overseas. So there's potentially international considerations that have to be reviewed as well. Do I address it or do I let it go and wait for the worst to happen? Which, of course, we don't recommend. All right, so the action is Six of Cups. This may feel overwhelming for you because it's so boring. So you might look to somebody who's a little bit more experienced with getting these types of things in order, especially if you have an inventory of different types of agreements. Like we have different types of engagements. So we have different agreements that we have to have, buttoned up, tightened up, and scope of work and payment terms, etc. And then, of course, making sure people are familiar with how to execute within the digital platform to have all the signatures. You know how to do it, but maybe you're not interested in making the time to do it because somebody else could do that has maybe a little bit more experience with it. All right, the outcome, if you do this, is another Pentacles card. Wow, I love how the outcome are the money cards. To have the Queen of Pentacles, which is of the nurturing and compassion of material growth and financial success, this is the reward, to make sure you have buttoned up the agreements and contracts in a proper format that is as bulletproof as you can get without knowing. And again, you don't want to ever have to find out in a court of law that these things could have been, that there were holes in these things or that there was loopholes. So I love that for us. Okay. Let's see. Now we have June 12th. Glitch 164. Is your website secure? So this is one of the 3 website glitches that are next to each other. So we talked about high quality content, so people find you. Now, this is if your website is secure. Now, I don't know if you see in your dashboard, whether it's WordPress or your own, or there's login attempts, like failed login attempts. Those are like people trying to get into the website. What did this flip out? Oh, 9 of Wands. That just blew out. That's you have achieved a lot, but you also have a lot to lose. So you don't want to be complacent on your security issues. We did a cyber glitch in the last week's video, and there were a lot of high cards in that, which means you've accomplished so much, but what could we lose if a breach happens? And especially, this is really concerning for somebody who has customer data in their website, because maybe they have a membership login, or they have, you house stuff on your website. And so for people to buy it, they have their credit cards stored in your own website to access the product or whatever. And one thing I'll say about this with business, because of all the moving parts, if you don't know how to change the tire, you call AAA, right? And they come and they fix it. But you don't just stand by the side of the car and wonder, who do I call? How do I get in touch with them? What's the name of that business again? I can't even remember. You have those things already set up, so when the tragedy happens, you have the resources. If you know that this is possible, then having the resources to discuss prevention and then recovery for if it does happen. So let's look at this. Is your website secure? Okay, situation. Ooh. 7 of Swords. There is a complacency of the knowing of how to do this successfully. So based on this picture, right, you have where green lights, red, fire, and he only sees what's going right. His purview is everything is fine, but the rest of the place is burning down. The rest of the data is burning down. So that's important. Data 7, no data. It's tough to run a business without having your data. The action is, we have the brand assistant again. That's the Page of Cups. And the pages are of a youthful trait, curiosity. This could be, again, where there's somebody in your business that could help you with this. You can delegate to. And then the outcome. Oh my gosh. Another queen. The Queen of Cups. Maybe this isn't you. Maybe this is someone in your business, or, all roads lead back to you, though. So maybe this isn't your forte of your website, but you have somebody that that you can trust. This brand assistant can maybe help train whoever is the one who is in charge of the website, that might not be looking at all the elements that could be exposed where a breach could occur, but you have the resources. Excellent. I love that for us. Okay. Shuffle this out. And then we have, second to last, June 13th, glitch number 165. Now, I'm going to just tell you what this is deep. I should probably just do a whole video on this glitch alone. This glitch is big. This is a big glitch. And in fact, June 13th is National Blame Somebody Else Day. So when I tell you what the glitch is, you're going to understand why that fits, even though I made it fit. I made it fit because the glitch is, do you avoid tough situations that require strategic communication? I know that's a mouthful, but the simple thing is, do you avoid situations that present conflict? Do you avoid conflict? Let's break it down even more simple. There's a video you have to watch. A conflict consultant that's like literally her business. And I interviewed her, and the video is in the description. I'm probably going to put it up here too as well, and there'll be a thumbnail that you can see. Do you avoid conflict? Do you avoid communications that feel scary, that are intense? Let's take a look. Did I clear? All right. Do you avoid conflict? Is the Seven of Pentacles. What that tells me is you have been growing your business and you've had a level of success, but there is a level of dissatisfaction in perhaps how fast it's growing or how you're scaling. You're not looking at the most positive abundance of what you've accomplished. And what that tells me is potentially there could be, even though this is financial success, money, wealth. Let's see where this goes. And so here we have the money card and the product card. So you've got the products down and the earning from selling products, but avoiding conflict and communication. Are you missing out? Is there a fear there of how you manage conflict? Let's see. This is the Knight of Pentacles, the money manager. Now, one thing about the Knights, they're always striving for something of action to achieve success. I find this very interesting that there's no swords or cups. So this could be where you just aren't, we may bury our heads in the sand for when it comes to how to communicate when conflict arises, when there's a dispute. Let me see if I have put anything in my notes here. Oh yeah, so I said this is one of my favorite things that people hate to talk about, and conflict avoidance is reaching record-breaking levels given the easy digital ghosting strategies. So, which is very, very interesting, because the cards that I would have thought that would lend to the sharing and exchanging of ideas and feelings and communication, it's not here. So the absence of something, could that be something to think about? This could also be you're not avoiding it. So, there you go. Things are just moving along. And here we are with the product 7. This is things are moving along for you. So it could just be everything's fine. I don't know. I think we all don't like conflict, but it's how we react to it, how we respond to it. Okay, well, let's keep moving to the last one. June 14th, glitch number 166. Are your employees proud of their work? This I included this because this goes with the last week's too, which was feedback. Are you receiving feedback from people associated in your business, whether it's customers, employees, associates, colleagues, strategic alliances? So are your employees proud of their work? If you don't have employees, then this is where you would want to look at your outsourced relationships that you might have in your business. Do you check in? Are they happy with the work you're providing to them? Or are you getting feedback from them? Are they complacent? I mean, the thing is, if things aren't great, then why? And how do you go about looking into the why? All right, so let's see. Let's take a look. Situation, action, outcome. Situation is the Seven of Pentacles again. There's growth, but is it enough for you? And if it's not enough, then what are you avoiding with understanding what's going on around you with people that might not be as happy as you think they are? And the action is the Seven, product 7. I think this is very interesting because these cards came in the last one, but you have the money and the products. But if you're not sure how people are feeling around you because you're so focused on the money and the products, then you'll be the last to know if somebody is not proud of their work, if they're not happy. And then again, change is temporary. So are you going to be the last to know if a vital cog in the wheel of your business, if it, stops working, then what? So let's see what the outcome. You have a data VP. Okay, so the data VP is the King of Swords. Either you or someone in your sphere, your world, you would have to step into your power to understand the people in your business. Are they happy? Are you providing an optimal environment for them to do the best possible work they can do? This could be how you repair any potential oversights. Let's draw one of the success cards. We had customer, delight your customer last time, so we're going to leave that one out. And we're going to pick another one for today and see what it says. The cardstock is so thick, so I feel like I'm going to feel my way through till, here we go. This is the one. Organizational structure. Let's put that there for you to see and put it up on the screen. Creativity thrives in chaos, but success delights in structure. A system can only run smoothly as long as each component has a well-defined task. Establishing a clear sense of rules, roles, and responsibilities increases efficiency and productivity. I think that really sums this up for today because there are tasks that have to be done to ensure that transactionally things can go as smooth as they can. That is another episode of Tarot Said So. And again, hit that like and subscribe. Let YouTube know that there are other people, other business owners out there that might want a different approach on how to talk about this kind of stuff. So until next time, may you find your inspiration and your King and Queen of Cups or Swords or any of the suits that resonate with you the most. We'll see you next time.